One of the main challenges for planners, designers, architects and public administrations that have to do with the urban dimension is to guarantee cities and public spaces that are accessible, safe, healthy, welcoming and plural, facilitating coexistence between all human and more than human inhabitants. This goal is reachable by including plural and diverse perspectives into design processes. The design of cities has reinforced traditional patriarchal roles within families, society and the workforce, starting from the perspective of the masculine experience being universally identified as the norm, in the name of a universality that results into the concept of the male as norm. In the absence of a different perspective considered when designing something as a result, the designed outcome will be suited to able, white, cisgender, heterosexual men. Gender influences how people navigate urban spaces and the options open to them. Geographical segregation, displacement, discrimination and poverty have exacerbated urbanization challenges, negatively impacting the well-being of women, marginalized, LGBTQIA+, and gender-diverse people, according to their privilege in an intersectional matrix. This issue has been already addressed within the discipline of feminist urbanism, first in USA and recently also in Italy, with mapping actions that consider the whole city. But what about the smaller scale of public spaces in which designers work? For example, within the urban interiors dimension or into the temporary urban solutions for public spaces. And what if we consider dimensions of gender and identity that are not binary but more queer? Polymidesis Lab has started to investigate this topic.
But what is the meaning of the term queer? Defining it is not easy, and it's also a kind of oxymoron, because it's a fluid and ambiguous concept that criticizes the strict categorizations and definitions per se. In Anglophone countries, was used as an insult to identify LGBTQIA+ people as the opposite of straight, intended as heterosexual. In fact, the etymology of it comes from the German word quer, which means diagonal, oblique. It was then proudly reclaimed in the USA in the 90s by Queer Nation, a group of radical anti-assimilationist activists pushed by the rise of homophobic hate during AIDS epidemic. It's now used as an umbrella term that encapsulates the experiences of those who exist beyond conventional norms. It's a concept that tries to dismantle the dichotomous and binary vision of the world by challenging the notion of the naturality of gender identity and the definedness of identity categories. It doesn't only indicate the LGBTQIA+ community, but it has got also a radical and political value of resistance and critical reflexivity around normative and power frameworks. As we can read in the Queer Nation Manifesto of 1990, the public dimension, as well as the urban and street one, have always been fundamental and connected to the mission of this group of activists. The emphasis placed on the public sphere can be seen from this phrase of their manifesto. Being queer is not about a right to privacy, it is about the freedom to be public, to just be who we are. And also from their typical flash mobs in public space, such as the kiss scene. The objective was to reclaim space with their own uncomfortable and rejected identities of bad citizens, operating a shift towards an anti-assimilationist approach opposed from the direction that was being acted at the time. The public space is a space of action, coexistence, and negotiation. The simple fact that non-heterosexual or non-cisgender people are present in a given location does not render it queer. Rather, the space becomes queered through action and negotiation. Queer spaces are not something fixed, but rather something rooted into the continuous breaking down of cis-heteropatriarchal white supremacist, colonial classist, and ableist structures. The encounter between design and queerness, then, is on doing queer, or queering, shifting the focus on how and not on what. One of the main challenges and opportunities in this sense is experimenting with queer processes and methodologies, also in the field of design, like is being done in other disciplines, such as sociology, finding ways to design queerly, instead of trying to design for queer people. There have been some emergent experimentation on gender-sensitive tools for co-design workshops when designing for cities. One example is the work that is being done by XYX Lab, Architecture Plus Place, of Monash University in Australia, Melbourne. Their processes defy the generalist application of design thinking, the one-size-fits-all approach. In their co-design workshops, women, members of the LGBTQIA+ community and gender-diverse people are empowered to be the experts of their own experience within a gender-sensitive approach that acknowledges and respects their awareness and insights. Design has not only the capabilities, but also the ethical responsibility to tackle issues related to inclusivity, coexistence, alterity, otherness, and queerness, since it influences the context, cities, places, and more generally, the entire world in which we live.